Simple math as to why I decided not to ever go for any degree that would set me back more than, let's say, $50,000 is because if you think about how much you're actually going to make after you graduate, even if you graduate with an entry-level job or a graduate level job, so that could mean even after you get a PhD, your rates of return are probably going to be as low as $60,000 to $70,000 a year. Very few jobs pay more than that. Like if you work at a hedge fund and you study quantitative math, maybe you'll make $200,000 to $300,000. That's only specifically hedge funds and only specifically quants. Like again, biostatisticians maybe make more. Like they'll also make about $90,000 when they first start off. So if you graduate with a biostats PhD from a top school, you might make $90,000 in the private sector. So you really have to think about, okay, holy shit. So I'm going to spend like about 7 to 8 years pursuing this degree. And then it's going to net me a job that pays anywhere from $90,000 to maybe $200,000-$300,000, but that's if I specifically choose to be a hedge fund quant trader, right? Like you got to start with the end in mind. So if you think about, okay, I'm going to go to this school and I'm going to pay X dollars for this degree, what am I actually going to get on the other end of things? So in my mind, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to get on the other end of things. I can't tell the future. I don't have a designated career path. Like I never said, oh, I was going to be a biostats person, or oh, I'm going to be an engineer, or oh, I'm going to be a coder. I had no plan. So when you have no plan, you just think about things on a purely economic level. It's like, first of all, which school gave me the most money? Which school is the cheapest to attend? That's the one I'm going to. Because let's be honest about this whole education system. It is all very performative. All employers want to see is that you finish some degree of school. Now, if it's Harvard, of course it gives you a leg up. But the majority of people like you and me, we're not going to get into Harvard. So it's going to be some basic ass school. So who cares if it's a UMass Amherst versus a Fordham versus a whatever? Nobody really cares at the end of the day. Because we also have met people who graduate from brilliant schools who are brilliant and who don't get jobs. It's because they're not likable. So you start learning the real world is a lot more complicated than just simple numbers and like probability of success. Because I think too many people think too much on like research and like, oh, well, the number of percentage equals this, and they take it as gospel. But the reality is people are people, and they're gonna make judgment calls based on totally arbitrary things. And people who get ahead aren't necessarily the ones that get the best grades. So if you can think with that in mind, then it's like, let me choose the school that gives me the most amount of money so that I can graduate as soon as possible and get out to the workforce, ideally in a sales role where I can double or triple my income year one and don't have to follow the rules that everybody else has to follow in standardized rules, standardized jobs with salaries.